Welcome everybody. I'm so glad that we've been somewhat freed from COVID captivity today. I want to welcome you all to the grand opening of Reilly Station and Canyon Flats. For those of you who don't know that this is Affordable Housing Month, I'd also like to welcome you all to Affordable Housing Month. We are thrilled to be here today, not least because we are thrilled to be opening a new project with the City of Fremont. We have been partnering with the City of Fremont for 3 decades at Eden Housing, and we're so thankful for their thoughtful planning and policy that has led to the creation of this development. We're also thankful to our partners, the Toll Brothers, who chose Eden to be their partner to build their affordable housing when they were creating this whole new neighborhood here near the BART station. So I am so thrilled to be here today because we're also naming this development after our very dear friend and board member, Tim Reilly. Tim has been on the board for now, Tim, 30 years, and we are just thrilled to honor him for his legacy. He is a local Fremont resident who has worked tirelessly for affordable housing. And so we have named the projects after Tim Reilly, that's Reilly Station, and Canyon Flats, and the Canyon is the name of his band. And so both projects are in his honor, and it's just really thrilling to have this event today and have some of the people that we really appreciate helping us make this project happen be here live, and some folks on video. We're still in hybrid mode, but we hope that next time we do this with the City of Fremont, we're all here in person. But I first want to thank you all. And then I would like to now introduce Gloria Bruce from East Bay Housing Organizations. EBHO is an organization that Eden is a member of, and they are the leader for affordable housing advocacy here in the East Bay. And with that, I'm going to hand it to Gloria.
Thank you so much, Linda. It's such an honor to be here today, and I'd really like to thank Eden Housing for having this safe in-person event so that I could see whether any of my pre-pandemic clothes still fit me. The answer is no, they mostly do not, but I'm still really glad to be here, and also really glad that I had the chance to take BART today to come and visit this amazing transit-oriented community. This is one of BART's newer stations, and I remember the years of advocacy and planning that went into making Warm Springs happen, and I really am so glad that the leaders of Fremont understood that you can't have an innovation district or a sustainable 21st century neighborhood without affordable housing and transit, the infrastructure that helps us all thrive. So I want to give credit to Fremont's inclusionary policy for making sure affordable housing were part of this amazing place. So again, I'm Gloria Bruce. I'm here to represent East Bay Housing Organizations, or EBHO. We've been working for over 35 years to create, preserve, and protect affordable housing across the East Bay for low-income communities. As Linda mentioned, this is Affordable Housing Month. By being here, you are part of joining hundreds of people across the East Bay and thousands of people across the Bay Area celebrating events both virtual and in person. I really want to thank Eden for helping us to further our mission of affordable housing, more important than ever to further racial and economic justice. Today we celebrate and learn, but soon we will also need to take action. So I invite you to visit our website at ebho.org to check out our new study room. It's the online version of our educational tool, our Affordable Housing Guidebook. And I invite you to join me and Eden Housing and the City of Fremont as EBHO members. When you join us together, our collective impact can only grow, and we'll make sure everyone in the East Bay is housed and it lives in beloved community. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, an elected official who truly does understand taking action. This is far from the first Affordable Housing Month event I've attended in Fremont, and I know it won't be the last because this city is committed to building affordable homes. I am very pleased to introduce the Mayor of Fremont, the Honorable Lily May. Mayor May.
So good morning. It's wonderful to be here today, and it's a demonstration of our city's commitment and our council's belief. And I have to thank Eden Housing, Toll Brothers, and EBHO for making sure that when we make the city of Fremont a welcoming place, it's a place that we welcome all to call home. And we can do that by providing these types of resources and access. And I couldn't be more delighted to be able to share in today's celebration. And I stare and look across the room at my friend Tim Reilly from the Canyon Band. And I have to say, one of the things that we can do is we can make wonderful music together and great harmony. And so this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to share in EBHO's celebration for Affordable Housing Month, which is today in this time period, as well as the fact that we are looking at how we can be thoughtful in how we do construction, whether it's things like having thoughtful parking in terms of stackable parking so we can better utilize the space and being green in our construction. These are some of the areas that I think are initiatives for us and for the bigger picture of how we can address the needs that are so critical at this time in our communities. I just was thinking about just 2 years ago, just down the street, we also were working on affordable housing, and we've targeted not just affordable housing for the community as a whole, but especially for those who are most vulnerable. And in that case, we were doing senior housing with Pauline Weaver Apartments. And we are reaffirming our commitment as the City Council as we go out with our next round of available funding, which I'm looking at our staff, and I have to say thank you also to the City of Fremont's staff, because we would not be able to deliver these projects without some of the innovations that we've been able to create. And I have to thank Aki, who is the planner, also here for this today. And so I just wanted to say it is a delight that Fremont cares about our residents. We don't talk about making it a home, we provide it. And you can only provide that sometimes by building it and including this. I also wanted to personally acknowledge Toll Brothers, which is interesting for me because I grew up in a Toll Brothers home in Pennsylvania many years ago. And so I think that when we work with partners, we're looking for people who look at our city not just as a place to build the business, but to build a community, and to build a community that's welcoming and accessible to all. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for reaffirming our commitment for my fellow City Council members and for our staff and for Eden and Affordable Housing Month that we can celebrate together. And this is the first of many yet to come. Thank you.
I really do want to also give a shout out to the city staff, to Dan, who has held our hand through so many projects. We really appreciate his expertise. And to Aki, who's actually not just working with us on this project, but has been working during COVID to get tenant relief to so many of our tenants who have been hard hit. We really appreciate the city's leadership and investing millions of dollars in making sure that people stay housed during this really terrific time that we've just been through. You know, I really cannot say enough about the many partners we have in the government that help us make this project happen. And this development in particular is the beneficiary of nearly $80 million in federal programs, both tax-exempt bonds and the low-income housing tax credit. Very complicated financing, but in a nutshell, if the federal government didn't make it possible for these programs to exist, we would not stand here today. And so we are really thrilled that Congressman Khanna, who has been a huge supporter of affordable housing and is a supporter of the latest bill to expand the tax credit program in Congress, is here with us today to say a few words about his work in Congress and hopefully about how he's going to deliver more housing resources to all of us soon. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to Eden. Congratulations, Tim, for your many years of advocacy on housing. Congratulations to our mayor and council for showing that Fremont is committed to affordable housing. You know, when I grew up in Philadelphia, outside Philadelphia in Bucks County, and on my street we had my parents. My mom was a school teacher, my dad was an engineer, and we had an HVAC technician, a plumber, a senior executive at a big company, and we all played street hockey together, we all played Little League together. It was a mixed economic community. That is no longer the case in the Valley or across America. We are too divided based on economics, based on profession, and that is tearing apart part of our social fabric. Building affordable housing isn't just about helping those who can't afford high rents or providing an opportunity to participate in our economy. Building affordable housing is about how we integrate our communities and have more social cohesion in a nation that is too divided. I was inspired last night. I went to a event at the local synagogue, and you had the Muslim American community and the Jewish American community working together with a local housing community to help housing those who don't have housing. And I thought to myself, can Fremont be a model for what cohesive community looks like for a country at a time when so many of us are struggling with that? this can be a pillar of that vision. I am completely supportive of expanding the housing tax credit to allow for more of this. I have made the case and will continue to make the case that it ought to be part of the president's infrastructure bill, and we are hopeful that that will pass, hopefully bipartisan, but if not, with 51 votes in the Senate and through the House. But we're committed to making sure that we provide more resources for affordable housing, and this can be a great example and inspiration. Thank you. And let me give this recognition to Eden Housing for your...
Can we step in front of the podium?
We can.
Perfect.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Congressman. It's going to blow away. We have also been truly blessed with terrific state leadership here in California. Our state senator here in Fremont and also in Hayward, our hometown, has really been a champion for affordable housing since he was on the city council here in Fremont. Not only did he come forward for affordable housing and this project, when he got to the state senate, he really helped deliver huge amounts of funding for affordable housing through the state's bond issue, which delivered billions of dollars in 2017. We are thrilled that Senator Wachowski has been a big champion for us, and we're grateful that Rocky Fernandez on his staff is here to say a few words on his behalf. Rocky.
Thank you, Eden Housing, for allowing me to say a few words as we celebrate this grand opening today. I'm Rocky Fernandez, Senator Wachowski's district director. Senator Wachowski is about to chair a very lengthy budget subcommittee hearing and regrets that he couldn't be here today, but he's trying to do the good work in the budget. As a former Fremont vice mayor and longtime legislator, he's deeply appreciative of the great partnership that Eden Housing has with Fremont and so many other cities in the 10th Senate District. For more than 50 years, Eden has worked to house low-income families in safe, affordable homes. Today's grand opening celebration for Canyon Flats and Reilly Station continues that long tradition and updates it with great design and automated stacker parking system. Looking forward to seeing that. These transit-oriented communities will directly target two of the biggest challenges facing us today: lack of affordable housing and climate change. By adding 132 affordable homes near the BART station, Eden Housing is providing its residents with multiple transportation options. It's a continuation of Eden's decades-long commitment to green housing, a commitment that includes energy-saving retrofits, water and energy conservation, and solar energy generation. It's also fitting that we celebrate this grand opening during Affordable Housing Month and Fair Housing Month, when we recognize the landmark law that prohibits housing discrimination. Senator Wachowski shares Eden's commitment to fair housing, and he's authoring Senate Bill 807, which will update and enhance the state's Department of Fair Employment and Housing civil rights enforcement abilities to make sure that no one is denied housing because of discrimination. I congratulate Eden President Linda Mandolini, the full Eden Board, and the City of Fremont for bringing these projects to fruition and enabling more local families to find a new place to call home. And I haven't got to do this in 15 months, so it's sort of exciting. So let me give you one of these, Linda.
Photo op? I know, it's really exciting.
Exactly. All right.
Thanks, Rocky.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. So Rocky, I'm really glad that you mentioned that this is also Fair Housing Month. For those of you who don't know how Eden got its start, it was through a group of volunteers here in Alameda County who came together to work on a ballot initiative for what was called then open housing, but was really fair housing. So we have a long-term history at Eden of being really committed to fair housing, and I think today, on the anniversary of the death of George Floyd, I would be remiss in not talking about how important housing is in our efforts to champion equity for all people. there is a long and actually sad history of discrimination related to real estate, and we at Eden are very committed to undoing that discrimination. And so I want to just acknowledge that and acknowledge my board. And the next part of this program is going to be to queue up, is that correct? To queue up Jim Kennedy, on our board president, by video, so that he can talk a little bit about Tim Reilly.
It's my pleasure to introduce Tim Reilly, member of the board of Eden Housing. The two properties that we are celebrating today, Reilly Station and Canyon Flats, both derive their names from Tim. Obviously, Reilly Station carries his name, and Canyon Flats carries his band, which, Tim, I understand you made a commitment some time ago to have your Canyon band play at one of Eden's events that got canceled due to COVID. So I just want to inform you, you're still on the hook for a live performance when everything opens up again. We'll be looking forward to that. Tim's been involved with Eden Housing for more than 30 years. He started as a member of a property board for Redwood Lodge in Fremont. He became engaged with that because he had been a member of the Board of Resources for Independent Living down there. On the Eden board, he's been a member of a number of the committees. In my tenure, he was the maestro of our audit committee, and Tim's attention to detail is unparalleled. I can tell you that. So that is a perfect function for him. I want to thank Tim for embracing me when I came on the board about 9 years ago. He was very welcoming to this newbie that didn't even reside in Alameda County. So I thank him for that, and I thank him for all of his service, both to Eden Housing, but most importantly to the constituents that we serve. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Reilly, named after the building behind me. But a little story about this building right here at Canyon. Our mayor has participated with my band on a couple of occasions. She's quite a good singer, and when she comes up on stage with us, she can sing and dance and looks just like Tina Turner. She is so good. And I just found out Gloria sings also. So we'll have to add her to the band someday, and we'll look forward to that happening. Couple of thoughts that initially come to mind is that I am thankful, pleased, and honored to be here today at this Eden opening. 2 new sites totaling 132 family units. My origins with Eden goes back to the much earlier days when City of Fremont was establishing a relationship with Eden on some property on Fremont Boulevard that eventually became known as Redwood Lodge, Baywood, and Sequoia Manor. You know all those, Lily? I thought you might. And after those projects were developed, I joined the board of Redwood Lodge, and on that site board of Redwood was 2 of our founders, Sarah Connor and Bill Vandenberg. And after the time serving on Redwood Lodge, those 2 convinced me to join Eden Housing, the mothership board of directors, where I've been on it for years, is the one way of saying it. Those original 3 sites are still on Fremont Boulevard, and for those that have been around for years, it's across the street from where Connolly's Furniture used to be. And now those 3 sites stand alone as quite attractive buildings. And what really got me to be on the Redwood Lodge board was years before that. I was one of the founders of what was called CREOL, Community Resources for Independent Living. And now, Lily, there's a site here in Fremont and Livermore. And then when Eden was marching forward with the development of Redwood Lodge, HUD, who was involved in the project, asked Eden to get CREOL involved, and I represented CREOL at the time, and I became another reason how I ended up on the board of Eden. Since 1968, when Eden was founded by Sarah Connor and Bill Vandenberg, it's now expanded across the state. And in the years since Eden was formed, over 100,000 tenants, residents, have passed through the facilities of Eden. One of the things that Eden's doing, and Gloria could attest to this, is affordable housing is no longer just about the structure, just about the building. It's about services, because that all helps contribute, make the tenants more part of the community. They're more involved and more engaged, and it makes the city better. One of the examples of services is Eden scholarship funding. And as an example, I think it was just last year, 35 residents received, what was it, close to $100,000 in grants, so those tenants, residents, could attend college and also further better the particular city that they are in. So, Madam Mayor, we are looking to do more in Fremont with you. I was of interesting note, when I was chairman of the Fremont Chamber of Commerce, I formed the PAC, the Political Action Committee. And one of the people that we have liked ever since those early days and admired is our mayor. And she was on the school board at the time, and then now is obviously on the mayor. And we've been very pleased, that is the PAC, by her attendance and services. And the band would be very pleased to have her sing with her again. And no, this time you do not have to dress up like Tina, but you did look good. Anyway, I'm trying to keep my time to is the amount of time that each other person have. So Linda, Matt, you're on. And Linda's a better speaker than me anyway.
We put our board members to work, and they work incredibly hard, so we are really grateful to Tim dedicating practically a lifetime to all of us in this project. So I want to talk a little bit about the county, a huge partner for Eden in every place that we work, and we are really grateful for Supervisor Halbert, because he actually was the former mayor of Dublin, where we've done several terrific developments, and so we were thrilled when he got elected, because we knew we would have a real champion for us on the board. And Kathy Kimberlin from his staff is here to speak on behalf of him and the county. So Kathy.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Kimberlin. I'm on County Supervisor David Halbert's staff. Happy to be here for him. Unfortunately, he is in a little meeting. He's in one of those supervisor meetings, the really short ones. So unfortunately, he can't be here to congratulate all of you today, Eden Housing and all the partners, and Linda, for your great leadership to get another great project done. And here we are, Canyon Flats, Reilly Station with the namesake. Couldn't be a better day. Congratulations. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Canyon Flats and Reilly Station, applauding the amenities and the green features that you have here. because with those, you're gonna be able to have housing that is very meaningful, not only affordable, but very meaningful. And the supervisor also is very appreciative of the services, the resources that will ensure a positive and sustainable lifestyle for the families here. The community connection is another great feature. They have staff on board who are going to create some community activities, community connectivity, families meeting families, individuals meeting individuals. On a busy corner, busy streets like this in a transit-oriented area, we're going to have a nice lifestyle going on here. So that is another thing to applaud. There will be health-related classes and activities. There'll be activities for the children. This is really good. This is a good life. Then some of the, finally then to wrap it up, is the partnership. Something like this doesn't happen with one company, one partner, and you've heard mentioned here today all of the partners who have been a part of this, and Supervisor Halbert applauds you. Then, finally, each project we do like this brings us much closer to serving the entire community. Good job. Have a great day.
So I've always said that my favorite part of the job is not the groundbreaking where we hoist shovels, but really the ribbon cutting where we meet tenants. Unfortunately, because of social distancing rules, I can't meet today's tenant speaker, but he will be on video. We're thrilled that we're welcoming 132 families to Fremont, and we have today to speak to all of you on video, Jerry Thomas, one of our tenants.
Hello, my name is Jerry Thomas. I have been a resident of Fremont since I was 14. I'm originally from San Francisco. Fremont is a city that I loved, and I really love to live here. I was really concerned about being able to afford to live in Fremont until Eden Housing came along and provided me with the perfect opportunity for me to live here. The application process was very smooth. It was very easy and understandable. I had a lot of help from the staff. They were very welcoming. It made me feel very, very comfortable throughout the whole process. I'm very excited to be a part of the community. I actually work in this community, so I serve the community as well. And I plan on doing all I can to upkeep the beautiful property that I'm staying on, Eden Housing.
So as I mentioned before, it takes a lot of partners to do a project like this, and we are thrilled that Wells Fargo Bank is our lead lending and investment partner on this project. And in fact, our speaker today from Wells Fargo is an Eden Housing alumni, permanently on the Friends and Family list, Jeff Bennett. Wells has made a significant investment in this project, investing $80 million in the development, $43 million of which is a tax credit equity investment, and we will be their partner for the next 15 years. We have been partnering with Wells Fargo since I got to Eden now nearly 25 years ago, and so with that, I'm going to cue up Jeff's video. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeff Bennett with Wells Fargo Bank. And I'd just like to say congratulations today to the City of Fremont and Eden Housing and all who have worked on Reilly Station and Canyon Flat. It's a terrific achievement, a very important project, and we're very thankful to be part of the finance team for it. We've provided the construction loan and the tax credit equity investment for the projects, and we're just incredibly happy to be part of the team. These projects have really made a big impact on the community. 132 new affordable family units, something that's desperately needed in these challenging times. We're thrilled that the project is close to transit and integrates both market rate and affordable units in one project. And it's a terrific example of a public-private partnership, all things that we really like to be involved with. I'm part of the Affordable Housing Finance Group with the bank. We've had a group dedicated to this for decades. It's a big part of what we do at Wells Fargo. We understand the importance of affordable housing in our communities. I'd like to thank and congratulate the Eden Housing team, and in particular, Teddy Newmeyer, who did a terrific job of managing the development. The Eden team always does a great job at managing these projects. We're just always inspired by their very hard work and ingenuity and perseverance in getting these projects over the finish line. So once again, thanks very much for having us on the team. I look forward to seeing the project in person, and we look forward to doing more affordable housing projects with Eden Housing and the City of Fremont. So thanks so much.
So I really want to thank Jeff and Wells Fargo, and I'd also like to thank and recognize our other significant and important lending partner, the California Community Revitalization Corporation. I'm pleased today that Aaron Smith has been able to make it up from Los Angeles to be here for our semi-virtual event and be on the in-person side of the team. We have done so many projects with CCRC that I have completely lost count. They're a huge permanent lending partner of Eden's. I'm sorry that Aaron's boss, Mary, could not be with us today, but I'm glad that he could make it, and I'd like to give him a moment to say a few words. Thank you.
All right, we're in person, we're live, this is great. Well, good morning, everyone. And we all know the saying, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, when life gives Eden Housing a little bit of dirt, Eden Housing creates 132 beautiful, affordable housing units. So this is fantastic to be here. It's incredibly exciting to be able to participate in this grand opening with Eden Housing. And from Healdsburg to San Jose to Fremont, it seems like Eden is either opening or breaking ground on a new project every week. So congratulations, Eden Housing, and on your grand opening here, and thank you for allowing CCRC to be your financial partner. And thank you to Wells Fargo also, who you just mentioned, and their whole team, Tim McCann, Nirav Shah, Jeff Bennett. I think we just saw a video on from him, and the whole Wells Fargo team. It's great to partner together and support Eden Housing together. So I also want to give my respect right now to the workers that made this project and the whole master community continue to be built. We know the world was sort of on pause this past year, but this development was not on pause. And so, you know, Toll Brothers, Eden Housing, you are all absolutely essential, and the tenants here have you to thank. So on behalf of Mary Kaiser, Mark Rasmussen, and our whole CCRC team and CCRC family, we are excited to be a part of this new Eden development. And perhaps most importantly, we do wish the current and future tenants all the success that this wonderful Eden Housing development inspires them to achieve. So thank you.
So I would be remiss if I didn't thank the Eden Housing staff and team. Teddy Newmeyer, who was the project manager who had to adapt this project to COVID. Really, thank you, Teddy. To Andrea, who is our interim director of real estate, and to Wilson on our team, who all worked very hard to get this project moved forward in development in a time when we were all wondering if we'd even be allowed to continue construction. Another shout out to the city staff for adapting all of their inspection protocols so that we could keep moving during this process. Really, Fremont has been a terrific example of how you can get affordable housing done. And you know, it's not enough at Eden Housing to just build you a project that looks good on the first day that you own it. It has to look good on the first day of the 50th year that we own it. And that happens because of our property management team and our resident services team. So first, I'd like to thank Barbara on the lease-up team for helping to move people in and qualify people. We had an interesting conversation where she said that we had 763 applications in one day for this project, if that gives you any sense of the demand for this housing in this community. But also to Marina and Connie and Susie and Justin and Eduardo and Anna, who are the team that work here at Reilly and Canyon. Thank you so much, because yours is the hard work for the next 50 years. So we really appreciate all of you. And to all of the Eden Housing staff, whether you were the accountant that paid the bills or the administrative assistant that did the mountains of paperwork that the state of California requires to get those tax credits, we really, really appreciate all the work that you do to make Eden Housing home for so many who desperately need it. And with that, before we kick off a virtual property tour, we are going to invite all of the folks here to come help us cut the ribbon on the new housing, and thank you all very much for joining us.
Hello and welcome to Canyon Flats. Thank you for joining us in our virtual tour of our newest property, Canyon Flats. My name is Casey Archie, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Property Operations with Eden Housing. One of the many wonderful things about Eden is that not only do we build our properties, we manage them and we provide services for our residents. This is our bike room, another example of Eden's commitment to sustainability. We're also located right across the street from a BART station. Welcome to our outdoor courtyard space where families and friends can gather for fun. We have our barbecues set up here. We've got eating spaces, we've got our garden plots, and we've got a children's tot lot. Another aspect of Eden that I love is the on-site management teams. We have here our community manager and our maintenance tech. This is the manager's office, and what we do with our residents is we help to change the world one corner at a time. We are always available for our residents in need, and we just love to support in any way that we possibly can. In addition to Canyon Flats, we wanted to take you on a tour of Reilly Station as well. Thank you so much for joining us today to tour Reilly Station and Canyon Flats. We look forward to seeing you again in the near future.